Welcome to This Is My Architecture. I'm Aarthi from AWS, and joining me in New York today is Jay from Yieldmo. Jay, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having us here.
So, tell me, what does Yieldmo do?
So Yieldmo is a mobile ad tech company that fundamentally believes that the mobile user ad experience is not mutually exclusive to the marketing impact that the ad has with the advertisers. So what I mean to say is that the ad experience that you typically see with the pop-up is not what we are going for. We are basically looking for user engagement, and such as whether a user is playing a video, etc., and capturing all these data points in the most micro interaction level, the most granular level, and processing it so that we can collect and create marketing insights for these advertisers.
So I assume this is when I'm reading my news and I see an advertisement and I scroll up or down, all this data is then collected for a better user experience.
That's right. So what we have really is that every data point that we're capturing with these ads when it's in view is collected at a 200 millisecond interval, meaning that as long as the ad is in view, we are collecting these data points every 200 millisecond and sent across to Kinesis 4 Kinesis data stream endpoints. So with all these aggregated data streams from all these phones that we are serving with these ads, we have in a given day approximately 4 billion records, which with each record at 0.8 KB, we are looking at 3.2 terabytes of data, right? So all this data is 3.2 terabytes of data is living in these Kinesis data stream in a given day.
So we got this 3.2 terabytes of data, right? How do you scale? That's a lot of data.
Right. So we already have 4 endpoints for collecting all this data. Along with it, we currently have it sharded at 30 shards per stream of Kinesis. So basically, whenever we see that there's an increase in inflow of streaming data, we just increase the number of shards, and it automatically scales.
So depending on the peak time, and you can automatically scale it.
Exactly.
Okay. So what happens next, given you guys have this data? I'm assuming the next thing is some kind of analytics and compression that needs to be done on this data.
Correct. So Kinesis Analytics gives us a whole lot of things, right? One is that it's a consumer for Kinesis data stream, which manages all that offset management and all that piece in Kinesis Analytics itself. The other major thing is the ad view session. By ad view session, what I mean to say is that when you're browsing your news site, and as you said, when an ad is coming in view, that's when we start collecting all these data, and assume you were looking at that for 4 seconds. Now at 200 milliseconds, you're looking at 20 records, right? But what we really want to find out is, of these 20 records, how do you stitch them all together into one coherent ad view session, meaning how much was your start and end, and how much did you do as a user in that 4 seconds. That's what Kinesis Analytics helps us do, because with sliding window, which is one of the SQL pieces in it, we are able to aggregate the data at 95%. Compression, meaning that we are able to stitch all these sessions and aggregate the data to 95%. And also the fact that it is auto-scaling, we are looking at 5 to 12 KPUs on a given day.
Okay.
Right? So this, along with the fact that now with 95%, you're looking, instead of 3.2 terabytes, you're looking at 0.2 terabytes of data, which is amazing.
Yeah, definitely. That's amazing. Like going from 3.2 terabytes to 0.2 terabytes of data. So once the analytics function is actually performed and the compression is done, I see a fire hose here. So what happens? Are you sending data over?
Right. So Kinesis Analytics is basically configured to send all this data to Firehose, and Firehose is configured to spit a file to S3 at 100 MB size limit or 10-minute interval. And once it's in S3, really, it's pretty straightforward. Every file new creation creates a SQS notification, which for any new file that Firehose splits to that S3 bucket. And what we have is really Snowpipe, which is Snowflake Computing's managed service, which reads from this SQS stream and actually loads the file into Snowflake, which is where the data warehouse is. And that's really available for analysis in pretty much 10-minute window.
Okay. And then once data is inside Snowflake, that's when all the analytics, like the final analytics that you guys pass on, happens.
Exactly. So that's where the real ROI for the marketers are. Basically, we're doing all the ML modeling and all that based on that.
Okay. This is an interesting architecture of how Yieldmo uses the entire portfolio of Kinesis services that we have today to process user data. Thank you for sharing this with us today.
Sure.
And thank you for watching. This is my architecture.